Welcome back, dear viewers, and this very special day we have with us today Professor Mohammed Alkatan, an exercise physiologist, joining us here on Hala Kuwait. Good evening to you, Professor. It's such a pleasure to have you.
I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so excited for this interview.
All right. Well, dear viewers, let's take a short break and we shall be right back. Stay tuned. And we are back, dear viewers, and we are still joined by our Professor Mohammed Alkatan, an exercise physiologist. So, Professor, would you please tell us a little bit about your career?
Perfect. So I'm so glad to be here with you, Yusuf, today, talking about a very important topic. So I am a professor at the College of Basic Education in the sport department. I obtained my master's degree in Virginia in exercise science. Then I went to Texas, Austin, to obtain my PhD in exercise physiologist and chronic diseases. It's been a long journey, but I summarize it in actually a few seconds.
Wow, mashallah, that's really great to have your expertise here in our beautiful homeland, Kuwait. And therefore, Professor, we want to ask you, what's the difference between a personal trainer and a physiologist?
Perfect. So personal training, Yusuf, is basically when anybody who could offer a training for anybody. However, or on the other hand, exercise physiologists actually give a training program for a person usually with the chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart diseases, cancer, heart problem, because these kind of people need actually more attention. And as you know, exercise, it's a good thing. However, if you use it in a bad way, it could harm you, or sometimes actually could lead to death. So this is why you have to use it very wisely in order to actually to get all the benefits, as well as to really enjoy exercising and continue exercising for a long period of time. And this is actually the main part. So exercise physiologists really taking care of the people with chronic diseases, because they really need a really good attention and really appropriate dosage of exercise.
All right, such beautiful information from you, Professor. And we want to touch on the heart part. As you said, it helps the heart.
Absolutely.
And how does this help the heart rate actually over time, and also the lungs?
Absolutely. So Yusuf, our heart is a muscle. And this muscle actually works 24 hours a day for 365 days per year. It's non-stop. It's probably when we actually go to bed and we go to sleep, our heart rate is going to go a little bit lower. However, our heart will not stop working. So this is why it's will consider as one of the most important muscle in our body. This is why it's our role to take care of it. And now by exercising, now when we exercise in a regular exercise, in a regular basis, an aerobic exercise such as walking, swimming, cycling, these kind of exercise actually will make our heart stronger in two ways. So our heart will be bigger, as well as the muscle of the heart itself, it will actually be bigger as well. So this is a very important factor that happen, or adjustment, physiologist adjustment, when we exercise on a regular basis. And this is why our role, Yusuf, we have to exercise on a regular basis to make our heart stronger. So when our heart is stronger, so we could live longer. And this is very important from our part to exercise to make our heart stronger.
All right, such beneficial information.
Absolutely.
There, Professor. But dear viewers, we shall take another quick break and we shall be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers, and we are still joined by Professor Mohammed Alkatan, an exercise physiologist, to ask him all about exercise, and especially, Professor, you mentioned something about the muscles.
Correct.
And why is exercise so important for the muscles, for the body?
Absolutely. So, Yusuf, our muscles is very important. So, if we're going to do any kind of movement, muscles is a major thing, or this is going to be the role of the muscles, is to actually make any movement. We have really muscles. We have the skeletal muscle that it's in the actually in our body, as well as we have the smooth muscle, which is in upper body. These two kind of muscles are very important. When we exercise, this kind of muscles actually will increase and become more stronger. And this is why keeping exercising on a regular basis, especially strength exercise, will make our muscles stronger.
Yes.
And this is why actually I would like to give the advice to our dear viewers to exercise as strength exercises such as weightlifting. Weightlifting is one of the major anaerobic exercise which can increase our actually muscles.
All right. So, Professor, when somebody goes for weight training, as you said, to play strength, you need to eat a lot of calories, or you have to intake a lot of carbs throughout your day. How do you explain this to people actually exercising to keep their weight in management?
Okay, so exercise is the best lifestyle to actually maintain our body weight. So if you want to really reduce your body weight really fast, go with diet.
Okay.
But the problem with the diet is actually the diet is decreasing your weight. However, at some point you will gain the weight, probably sometimes even more. And this is why diet is not, it's really beneficial for reducing weight, losing fat. However, you have to be really careful after that segment that we could increase weight. So how could I maintain this weight? So I would, for example, my goal is to reduce weight, and then I have to maintain this weight. So the best way is to exercise. Exercise is the best way to really, as a lifestyle, to maintain our body weight. Right. Because when we exercise, actually, you're gonna burn a lot of calories, as well as you're gonna, because you have to eat. Sometimes that you would like to eat carb, you would like to eat some sweets. Now, if you would like to burn all these calories, you have to exercise.
Yes.
And this is the best way to do it. So sometimes it's good to eat some sweet, not too much. At the same time, you could exercise. And this is why actually what has been proven by research is the best lifestyle modification to maintain our body weight is by exercise.
All right. And Professor, what do you have to say for the girls that say strength training or weight training actually build muscles?
This is actually a lot of girls thinks I will not look good because I will gain a lot of muscle. I'm going to tell them exercise or weightlifting will not increase your muscle size unless if you take steroid hormones.
All right. Because
their body is not really adjustable to have all these muscles. Okay. The good things with weightlifting for girls is their muscles gonna be stronger, but it's not gonna increase their size. So they don't have to be worried about their muscle to be stronger and they don't look good. They're gonna look good, as well as their muscle going to be stronger, and they can help their life's going to be easier for labor, for their lifestyle. They could do a lot of things if their muscles are strong.
All right, some really beautiful information here, dear viewers, for you from our Professor Mohammed Alkatan, a physiologist and expert really. So doctor, also how does strength training protect our overall health, and it helps us decrease in age, as they say?
Okay, so there are a lot of research on aerobic exercise. In the past, probably 30 or 40 years ago, all the exercise or all the research actually recommend aerobic exercise and neglected the strength training. Now, in the recent days, actually weightlifting is very, very important, because when we do weightlifting, actually, this is the best way to increase our muscle strength as well as our muscle mass. Our muscle strength and mass is very important to do all our daily activity. This is why it's very important for us to do the weightlifting, and I really highly recommend everybody, even actually now in the past, kids actually not recommended to do weightlifting. However, nowadays they could do that. They could do a strength training, however, in their body weight, for example, squat, pull-ups, all these kind of exercises. They could do a weight training. They could increase their strength, but as well as they're very, very beneficial. When we have a very strong muscles, this will protect our body from any injury. This is the first benefit. Second thing, if you fall down and you have a strong muscles, this will prevent any break in your bone. And this is very important for us. This is why, from your beautiful program, Hala Kuwait, I highly recommend everybody to do weightlifting.
Thank you, and also thank you so much, Professor, for your beautiful information. I'd love to know from you, Professor, is really wearing a belt for training important?
It's very important, actually, especially for lower back muscles. The only problem, Yusuf, when we do weightlifting, that sometimes we do actually not take it gradually.
Okay.
The most important thing is this is a rule to do any kind of exercise, weightlifting or aerobic exercise. Warm up is very important, as well as the gradual increasing of the dosage of the exercise. When you're going to start weightlifting, don't go really heavy, go light, and take it step by step. The only problem with us, Yusuf, it's we want to really have the faster results. As a human, this is something normal. But with exercise, you have to be patient.
Okay.
You have to really consistent. The determination is very important. Exercise and gradually dosage. This actually will prevent a lot of injuries, as well as you're going to have all the benefit of exercise. The third thing is you're going to enjoy exercise.
Yes.
You're going to go to the gym, you're going to go to walk, you're going to do any kind of physical activity. The most important thing is that we have to enjoy it.
Yes.
To really continuous doing it.
Yes, and Professor, as you know, some people go for no pain, no gain, and they eventually end up 2 weeks in bed suffering from an injury.
This is a problem. This role is kind of correct, but this kind of elite athlete, they want to go to have a gold medal. I don't really argue with them to do this role. However, as a normal person, like us here, take it gradually and step by step. And then you're going to gain all what you want, all the benefits that you gain, all the benefit of exercise.
All right. And Professor, would love to know more about medicinal walking or just doing any kind of workouts. As they say, God forbid, prevents you from cancer or any heart disease. What do you have to say for this?
Absolutely. So in the past, let's say past 1,400 years ago, humans actually do exercise by nature. They don't actually go to the gym. They actually go from place to place by walking or by camels or by horses. This kind of activity considered to be a physical activity or exercise. Then we have the technology. Now with all the transportation, with all the technology that we have, people actually gonna adapt the sedentary behavior. And this is actually when we're going to start. This is going to be the beginning of the segment of the chronic diseases. Diabetes type 2, obesity, cancer, heart diseases. And recently that we have linked the sedentary behavior with kind of these diseases, the chronic diseases. Now, with exercise is absolutely prevent these chronic diseases. And this is why now all the health societies recommend exercise to prevent ourselves to really exercise. Nowadays, recently, we have more research for people who have chronic diseases, and actually we find out that exercise treats chronic diseases. And one of the most important disease that could be treated by exercise is diabetes type 2.
All right.
And we have a lot of percentage here in Kuwait that people have chronic diabetes type 2. And the good news is, with exercise, that could be treated you, and you will not have any injection or pills to really have or control this disease.
Yes, Professor, it is really important for a person to exercise. And you mentioned something scientific. We'd like to delve deeper into science.
Please.
And we'd love to know from your side that the body has some cells inside it.
Correct.
What happens really when somebody gets fit, and how does these cells change inside the body? Okay,
there is a term that's called autophagy. Autophagy, it's a term that when actually we go for aerobic exercise or for a prolong of exercise, that make our cells clean themselves. Because when we do when we build up muscles, that we have some really damaged muscles. Now this body actually, when we exercise or when we fast, this is going to be the two scenarios that our body can clean ourselves. Is by fasting on exercise, our cells gonna use these damaged cells as an energy. And this is why actually it's very important for us to exercise to clean our body from inside, to really clean the wastage or the damaged cells.
All right, doctor. And lastly, we'd love to know from a recovery point of view, why is it so important for somebody to move while injury, but also as it will help him recover faster?
Okay, so in this regard, Yusuf, a lot of people, or physician, if they tell you not to exercise or not to move, it's better not to move. However, most or probably a lot of injuries that you could actually move. For example, if I have an injury in my arm or my shoulder, so I still could walk, right?
Yes.
The most important things, why is that? Because when we actually exercise, our blood circulation will increase. So more nutrient gonna go to the injured part, as well as the most important things that when you stop exercising, what you're gonna do is you're gonna adapt the sedentary behavior. You're gonna sit for a prolonged time. You're gonna eat, and unfortunately, when you do not exercise or not move and you eat, you're going to increase your body weight. Okay. You're going to increase your fat percentage. And this is going to lead to a lot of chronic diseases. And then actually some people go to depression because they actually gain weight, they actually do not look good anymore. And this is why even if you have injury, you still have to move. You have to still to actually do some physical activity. If you could exercise, that's good. Try to probably take a rest for the injured part, but for the rest of the body, you still can exercise. That's fine.
All right. Very beautiful insights from you, Professor Mohammed Alkatan. I'm sure we can go on and on all about exercise and learn from your experience.
It's my passion, Yusuf.
Thank you so much for sharing all your passion and information here on Hala Kuwait and joining us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me, and hopefully that I give a really good advice to our dear viewers. And really, it's try to exercise as much as you could, because exercise could prevent a lot of chronic diseases, as well as eating a balanced diet and sleep well.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us, Professor. So therefore, dear viewers, let's all thank the coming of Professor Mohammed Alkatan, an exercise physiologist here in our beautiful state of Kuwait. And after this, dear viewers, we're going to look at another report, so stay tuned.